Hello there YouTube, it's your boy B3, and I'm back with another kicking graphic novel review. You know, we've been trying to get through Nick Spencer's Spider-Man, so today we have The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 9, Sins Rising. So, let me read you the back of the book. For months, perhaps years, he has crawled in the shadows, manipulating events from afar. Now the demon known as Kindred is finally ready to take his revenge, not on Spider-Man, but on Peter Parker. And he's resurrected one of Spidey's most disturbing foes, the fanatical Sin Eater. But who is the Sin Eater? And why is it so terrifying that he's back? What secret history will be revealed? And who will the shotgun-toting villain target in the here and now? The Lethal Legion has returned to threaten the Big Apple, but they're about to end up in the Sin Eater's sights. Can Spider-Man stop the murderous vigilante from taking deadly aim? Should he? And as Sin Eater's appetite for sins to punish grows greater still, he turns his attention to the Ravencroft Institute for the criminally insane. Collecting The Amazing Spider-Man 2018 number 44 through number 47 and The Amazing Spider-Man Sins Rising Prelude by Nick Spencer, Bruno Oliveira, Kim Jacinto, Mark Bagley, Marcelo Freire Sana, Andy Owens, John Dell, Roberto Paggi, David Cruel, and Jody Bellier. So, let's get into it. The Sin Eater is one of the darker Spider-Man characters, very dark story. It's kind of insane that they brought the Sin Eater back, to be completely honest with you. But now the Sin Eater, instead of just being a vigilante with a shotgun, has powers. So we get this whole origin for the Sin Eater, how he was raised by his zealot preacher grandfather, who really gave him a complex, and etc. And he was one of those rattlesnake preachers, up in the mountains. And he was left, his body was, with a food offering for this creature of folklore called the Sin Eater, which is a human that comes and eats the fruit on a body, and they take that person's sins so that they can ascend to heaven, and then that person, when they die, will be punished for all the sins that they've absorbed. But they're treated like a monster. They're shunned by society, despite the fact that they're taking on the sins of these people so that their souls can go to heaven. So, they're shunning someone for doing an incredibly selfless act, in all honesty. But these Sin Eaters are, of course, where our vigilante will get their name. And it's like, oh, why did they think the preacher needed to be cleansed of sin? Well, because he was bitten by a rattlesnake. And, their whole thing is like, oh, if the rattlesnake bites you, you won't die because the Lord will protect you. But, if you harass a rattlesnake enough, it's gonna inject you, man. It's just gonna. But yeah, he grows up to be a cop who murders those who do bad, but also killed Jean DeWolf, who was a big Spider-Man character back in the day. But he killed her. He kills people for pretty small sins. And then he was institutionalized, and they helped him. They considered him, quote-unquote, cured. They sent him back out into the world, and then Spider-Man came to him and was like, don't think for a second that I think you're cured, blah, blah, blah. He then ended up committing suicide by cop, which Spider-Man felt was his fault. He felt that he pushed him to do it. And this is all shown to us in a very interesting, clever way. Very interesting, clever way. And it reveals that his partner, he was killing gang members as revenge for his partner. But it turns out he killed his partner because the partner was helping that gang push drugs. So he's killed a lot of people. But we see all he's going through in hell and stuff. It's very interesting. Really interesting. And then he's brought back to life by Kindred, the demon, whose identity is not yet known in this, But if you're rereading this like I am for these reviews, you can kind of see the seeds being planted for Kindred, especially when Kindred is in Ravencroft, talking to Mysterio and Norman Osborn and other characters. But Kindred keeps giving Spider-Man these horrible dreams about demons and all kinds of horrible things. But we see the Sin Eater chasing villains, trying to shoot them. And he has powers now, right? So when Sin Eater shoots someone, they don't die, but they're absolved of their sins. It's actually very incredible. It's kind of like the tattooed man in the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, which we reviewed recently. We've been reviewing it for a long time. Now we're reviewing the omnibus versions. So definitely check out those recent reviews. But yeah, he takes the sins into himself so that he'll be the one punished for them, and these people can get a clean slate. He does it to Overdrive. And so Overdrive already wasn't that bad of a guy. But he shoots Overdrive, and Overdrive lives. And it kind of turns him into a good person. It takes away his sins. So it takes away his penchant for thievery and whatnot. And he feels guilty, and he, like, repents and stuff. And eventually, Sin Eater is going to shoot, like, mass murderers and stuff. And even they will repent for their sins. But when he shoots them, he takes their sins, but he also takes their powers. So he gets Overdrive's ability to soup up any vehicle just by touching it, which is not good. And he starts kind of stockpiling supervillain abilities, which is going to be an issue, especially since this guy does pretty much anything Kindred asks him to. You get the Lethal Legion, who shows up with Count Nefaria, the Living Laser, Gargoyle, Whirlwind, and he blasts them all. And he takes all their powers. And they're pretty powerful. They're, like, really powerful. Gargoyle can turn anyone to stone just by touching them, dude. And he might even be the weakest one. He takes all their powers. And a lot of the people seem to kind of be on his side. You know how it is. But we get Carly Cooper talking to Spider-Man about all this stuff. We get Nora Winters, who has an interview with the Sin Eater to kind of spread his deranged message. And then he gets a bunch of fanatics who start dressing up like him and taking orders from him. But they don't have his powers. So they're just a lot of people, many of them religious zealots or bigots, who are just going around beating the snot out of people that they think are doing wrong. Like some people just for lying or something, or just not being like them at all. It's religious fanaticism at its best, and at its worst. And they really do seem to worship the Sin Eater, which is pretty insane. And he's going next for Norman Osborn, who's running Ravencroft. But yeah, it's gonna get pretty intense from here. Very intense. This next volume, with a lot of Norman Osborn Spider-Man relationship stuff, and a lot of who Peter Parker is as a person, a lot of other Spider characters, Ghost Spider, Miles Morales Spider-Man, Madam Web, Silk, Spider-Woman, Spider-Girl. We're starting to really get into the thick of it. So in this volume, Kindred lets Spider-Man know that he is real and he is someone that exists and someone he needs to worry about, but he doesn't quite have his identity yet. So that is it for The Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Volume 9. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.